Hello and welcome. Today I want to share a story with you. It's a story about the incredible power of thinking big, even when you have nothing. This is the story of a poor boy with empty pockets and a mind full of dreams. In a small mountain village in Vietnam, there lived a skinny boy named Min. He was no stranger to hunger. Every night, as he lay on his thin mat in a small bamboo hut, his world was the dark ceiling above and the rumbling of his empty stomach below. His father had passed away when he was just 7, leaving his mother to wash clothes for people in the town, earning just enough for rice and salt. While other children skipped to school in crisp uniforms, their bags filled with books, Min walked barefoot on dusty roads. In his hands he carried not a school bag, but a box of shoe polish and a stack of old newspapers. He was poor, desperately poor, but he possessed something that others didn't. A mind that refused to be confined by his circumstances. He had a mind that dared to dream. One sweltering afternoon, as Min was polishing shoes in front of a grand glass-fronted building, a group of businessmen stepped out of shiny, air-conditioned cars. They were laughing, dressed in fine suits and carrying sleek laptops. Min watched them, his young eyes wide with a mixture of awe and wonder. He whispered to himself, a promise to the universe. One day, I'll be one of them. Not to wear fancy suits, but to build something that truly helps people. An old fruit vendor nearby, overhearing his quiet declaration, let out a dry laugh. Boy, she said, shaking her head, you can't even afford lunch. Stop daydreaming and get back to work. But Min simply offered a small, knowing smile. Dreams are free, he replied softly, and I can dream as big as I want. He knew even then that the size of his dreams was the one thing poverty couldn't take from him. That night, huddled under the weak, flickering light of a lone streetlight, Min found a treasure. It was a torn science book someone had discarded, a book about great inventors like Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. He couldn't understand every word, but as he traced the diagrams and read about their struggles and triumphs, something ignited within him. It wasn't just curiosity, it was a powerful, burning hope. The book was a sign, a whisper from the world, telling him that ideas could change everything. The years that followed were a testament to his resilience. Min's life became a cycle of hard labor by day and relentless study by night. He polished shoes, sold bottles of water on hot days, and hauled bricks at construction sites. Every evening, exhausted but determined, he would open his books. There were nights he fell asleep with his cheek pressed against a page, the words blurring into his dreams. There were nights when monsoon rains leaked through the thatched roof, dripping onto his precious notebooks, smudging the ink. Still he pressed on, telling himself with every turn of a page, every word I learn, every problem I solve brings me one step closer to my dream. The struggle was immense. There were days when he couldn't afford a single meal, and he'd drink water to silence the gnawing hunger in his belly. People in the village would often mock him. Look at the foolish dreamer, they'd say, pointing at the boy who chose books over rest. But Min had discovered a profound secret. If your dream is big enough, the pain you endure becomes small in comparison. His vision for the future was his shield against the harshness of his present. Then came the turning point. At the age of 18, Min heard about a local innovation contest. The theme was technology for a better life. A spark went off in his mind. He didn't have money for fancy materials, but he had an idea born from his own life experience. He wanted to build a low-cost water purifier using recycled items, a device that could give poor families like his own access to clean drinking water. He remembered his mother, who still had to drink from the muddy river. This was his chance. His mission began in the dead of night. He spent hours sifting through trash bins, searching for discarded plastic bottles, charcoal from old fires and fine sand. The villagers watched him with amusement. There goes that crazy boy again, they'd mutter, playing with garbage. But Min ignored their laughter. He was focused. He experimented, failed, and tried again. He adjusted the layers, tested different materials, and refined his design. Failure after failure, week after week. Until one glorious morning it happened. The murky, foul-smelling water he poured into his makeshift device dripped out the other side, crystal clear and clean. When Min presented his invention to the judges, they were stunned. The panel, composed of engineers and professors, looked at his simple contraption made of trash and then at the clean water it produced. "Did you really make this all by yourself?" one of them asked, incredulous. With trembling hands but a steady voice, Min replied, "Yes, I made it for people like my mother, for all the families who still drink from the river." He didn't just win the contest. Min won first prize and with it a full scholarship to study engineering at a prestigious university in the city. His dream was no longer just a whisper, it was starting to roar. University was a whole new world, both exhilarating and terrifying. Surrounded by students with laptops, new clothes and money to spare, Min felt like an outsider. He had his scholarship, but little else. But what he lacked in material possessions, he more than made up for with an unquenchable passion. He became a sponge for knowledge. He studied day and night, attended every lecture and stayed late in the library. He asked his professors endless questions, diving deep into how machines, energy and technology could be harnessed to change lives for the better. After graduation, armed with his degree and an unwavering mission, he founded a small company. Its purpose was simple and profound: to bring clean water to every poor village in Vietnam. He started with a single improved version of his filter. Then he built 10, then 100. Word began to spread. Within 5 short years, his small startup had grown, and his team had successfully installed affordable, sustainable water purification systems in over 200 communities, transforming the health and lives of thousands. One afternoon, a young reporter came to interview the celebrated founder. "Sir," she asked, "you were once a poor boy from a small village with absolutely nothing. What was it that made you believe you could change your life so dramatically?" Min smiled, a gentle, reflective smile. In that moment, he saw it all again: the hungry nights, the flickering streetlight, the tattered science book, the sting of mockery. He looked at the reporter and said, "Because I learned to think big when I had nothing. My pockets were empty, but my mind was overflowing. It was full of ideas, full of curiosity, and most importantly, full of faith in a better future." Min's story is a powerful reminder for every one of us. You don't need money to start dreaming. You don't need anyone's permission to think big. All you truly need is one thing: the belief that you can. If you dare to think beyond your current circumstances, work harder than you ever thought possible, and hold on to your belief with unshakable faith, you can rise from nothing and build everything you've ever imagined. The moral of this story is simple yet profound. Big dreams cost you nothing, but small thinking can cost you everything. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content that empowers you to dream big and live fully. We'll see you in the next video.